everybody. This is Kristen Brindley. I'm here with the wonderful Ken Humphreys. Thank you so much for being with us today.
No problem.
Ken is with BPG Inspections, and his partner spotlight was in our September issue. If you didn't check it out, make sure you do. BPG is one of the largest, actually, you are the largest inspection company in the United States,
Right.
and Fortune 500 company. And just 3 years ago, Ken really took over the DC, Maryland, Virginia area. It's already over a $2 million operation. That speaks for itself. Ken, it's an honor to have you as a partner. And tell us how this happened. Like, did you always think you'd be an inspector?
Oh, absolutely not. I'm not from America. I'm now 21 years removed from England, and we don't have home inspectors there because every house is cold, damp, and moldy. Um, so I didn't know much about that until I had an inspection some 13 years ago now, and basically it didn't go well. And it was more the follow-up and just questions, and it was like he'd done the inspection and that was it. Move on with your life. And I didn't like it, so I looked into it, became a home inspector, started by myself, and soon found out that I didn't know enough. Not enough to do the job, but I didn't know enough to really grow and learn and be happy with what I was doing. So I joined a company, quickly became their top producer for several years. Then that company just wasn't headed in a direction I was comfortable with. And BPG reached out to me to start a new market for them in the DC metro area. And honestly, couldn't be happier. Managing isn't my strongest point. I'm a hands-on person. I love doing inspections, and I still do over 600 a year in the
That's
DC
a lot of
metro
inspection.
market. Yeah, it is. Not enough days in the week. So yeah, and I can't take the credit for it. I have great agents I work with, great partners like yourself that I work with, but my team are pretty much handpicked. Are just people I can trust. You know how it is. It's hard to find people that you can delegate work to or just give them instructions and let them go. And there isn't any of my guys I wouldn't trust doing an inspection for one of my agents if I wasn't available. So yeah, I thank them on a daily basis. Our headquarters has a great setup, so that really helps and just makes me look good, and I'll just take it.
Well, can you tell us everything that BPG does? So, what all do you all do?
Yeah, so BPG is owned by Fidelity National Financial. That makes us a Fortune 500 company. We are the biggest multi-inspection company in the country. We offer the best commission splits with benefits on the market in our industry. And they really believe in treating their inspectors correctly. As a service, we provide commercial and residential inspections. We can do tailored inspections. We can do job verification work, stuff like that. But our main bread and butter is home inspections. We do stage 1, 2, and 3 home inspections. We do radon, termite. We do air quality testing, water testing. Oh, we have a partnership with one of the biggest East Coast chimney companies in the area. We have a structural engineer that we partner with. Our whole goal is to provide the agent with a one-stop shop for everything they need. And we vetted these sister companies for ages before we brought them on to make sure they meet our standards. And our standards are, we want everybody to be happy at the end of the day. Every house has problems, and it's our job, unfortunately, to point them out to people so they know what they're getting into. And sometimes it's a surprise, and they're not happy with the information we give them, but it's better to know upfront than later on. So we stand
That's
behind
not
what
a
we
big
do.
surprise later. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, so tell me, what was the first thing that you did? So, you got your license. I mean, you took off like a shot, didn't you?
Yeah, as I said, I started by myself at first and quickly found that I couldn't collect enough information. I needed better resources. So I joined a multi-inspection company. In my first 8 months, I was rookie of the year at that company. In my second full year, I was the #1 producing inspector in the country for that company. And then I continued from there. I joined BPG, and it's a bigger company. Our California market is huge and very, very successful. So competing with them is hard because they have more daylight, they have better weather, and they have smaller houses. So they don't have crawl spaces. We have everything in this market, from 200-year-old houses to nasty crawl spaces in the concrete to 4-story townhouses. It's a good mix of what we do. So
Pretty
basically,
diverse. Yeah.
yeah, it is. And that sums up the DC metro market in anything you're looking at. If it's restaurants, if it's people, if it's the way people drive, it's very diverse.
It is great. Well, and so you have 17 guys on your team. What has been your biggest challenge, do you think?
Finding the right people. Um, I don't want just people that sat the national exam and want to get a license and think they're home inspectors. We really want people that have a background in construction, someone that knows how to explain stuff, and someone that when they're on their own, they know that if they see something they don't know, they will say so and do the research and reach back to the team and use the resources we've got to give the correct answers. There's nothing wrong with not knowing something in this industry because it's ever evolving, and with smart technology, if you can turn all the lights on in the new home this day and age, it's a success. So finding the right people that I can relate to, people that are technically smart, but also have people skills. So they have that bedside manner so they can actually communicate stuff and not take all day to do it. No one wants to be at inspection for 6 hours. It's a fact. Now, we can't dictate the time we're on a site. It's the age of the house, the condition of the house, and the amount of questions a buyer has. That's what's going to control the time. But we do our best to get in and out in a timely fashion while not rushing the customer and being detailed with our inspections.
What do you think has been most rewarding for you?
Apart from the spotlight you did on me, which I'm going to take that. I'm like, hey, I could be famous. No, most rewarding for me, I actually had a conversation via email with our operations manager out of Alpharetta, Georgia, yesterday, thanking her for her support at every step, because I'm a challenging person to work with when it comes to headquarters, because I have high demands. I want certain stuff done. I want it done yesterday, and I want to improve, and I have ideas. Not all ideas are good. You have to throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks. And she pointed out, and she goes, you are one of our leading market leaders. You have such good personal skills, and I love seeing your online reviews and how people see you in the field, because that's an honest feel of how they see. Like, we work off reviews. That's how modern business works. And I always tell people, hey, expect a bad review. It doesn't matter what you do. You're going to get a bad review at some point. Just go with it, learn from it, grow from it. But then we get good ones. And someone went out of their way a couple of months ago to write a review on me. It was like an essay. And she wrote 3 of them, completely different, and posted them to 3 different locations for people to see. And I'm just like, I don't know if I could have gone out and paid a professional writer to write that bad for me. And I'm just like, it's stuff like that. Or when someone reuses us, when someone's had an inspection and they come back and use it again, no, we'll wait 3 more days just to get on your schedule because we want you. It's the small things like that when people go, no, you're more detailed. I've moved 10 times and you're the best inspector I've had. And that's not just saying I'm the best inspector. It's just the reward of someone having that much confidence, that has experience of moving and having inspections. It's just like knowing what you do makes a difference, because buying a house is one of the biggest financial decisions you make. And we're not always seen as the good guys, because we come in and we go, yeah, you're going to need a structural engineer, or yeah, your chimney needs $15,000 worth of repairs. It's
That's
when
not a
someone,
fun day. Yeah, absolutely.
especially not in this market when people are paying top dollar for houses at the moment, because there's not much inventory and people need houses. We got so many people out here and it keeps growing and they can't build them fast enough.
Well, so for you, how do you find clients? Like, what's most important for you to find clients?
So the way we get most of our work is word of mouth, just referrals from people recommending us to other agents in their office, or customers telling people that, hey, you've got to use this guy. Brad Larry, he did an inspection for me on the BPG team and was great. Or Dean Heim was phenomenal. He just explained stuff in a way that made sense to me. So that's how we get a lot of our work. We do online reviews. It's great for us to get online reviews. We do social media marketing, but it's spreading the word. Like, just tell people about your experience with us. Like, even if it's just a conversation, a Real Producers event, and you liked the conversation, give us a try. Like, if you don't like what we do, let me know. Let me know how we can improve, because we're always about improving. We're always about trying to make sure that we can do our job, do the letter, which we're state governed. So we try to follow all the rules we can. We're all actually certified, so we follow those guidelines. But we want to know when, if you have a problem where it didn't work for you, something was said or something wasn't conveyed correctly, we want to know that, because we want to keep improving, and we can't do that without feedback. So yeah, please, both positive or even negative. It's not negative, it's constructive. We'd love to hear it so we can actually keep growing, and you can keep telling people about the good experiences you've had.
Well, and I love that. Every time I talk to you, we do talk about like growth and improving and just continuing to grow, standards of excellence. And that's how you grow so quickly, is through your standards of excellence and those that you hire, and how you interact with agents. I think it's great. What do you think makes you different and your team different out there in the marketplace, sets you guys apart?
I think our hands-on approach. We are very much involved in the customer whenever possible. We will drag them around, explain maintenance tips to them as we go through. Like, in today's day and age, there's a lot of good inspection companies out there that are using good software. Reports are going out the same day, which we guarantee our reports out within 24 hours. Most of our guys will get the reports to you the same day of the inspection.
Nice.
I've faltered a couple of times where it's gone out at 2 a.m. because I haven't finished it at that point. But basically, we just have a very honest approach to it. We're not trying to make issues bigger than they really are. Everything can be fixed. It's just a matter of how and how much, basically. So we try to explain stuff in a way that makes sense. And we don't over-explain a light bulb to people or a GFCI. We just say, hey, you know what? This is a problem. It should be fixed. On priority of where it should go in your list of stuff, it's halfway. It's not something you have to address. But if we come across this health and safety issue that needs to be addressed, we're going to say, hey, you really need to get this looked at ASAP, so you have more information. And that's, like, we're all highly educated and certified in this industry because of state licensing. I think we have to do 16 hours of continued education a year, and most of my guys surpass 20 plus, because we're all about continuing to learn. The industry changes so much, and we need to keep learning. We need to stay on social media, look what other people are doing in the country, see what trends are going on, and keep learning from it. So that's how I think we stand out from everybody else. We do offer free infrared thermal imaging with every inspection. I know some other companies charge extra for it. We don't, because it's a tool we need to do the best job we can do. So we do it because it's something that should be done. So that's how we look at it.
Now, that's a great way to look at it. Well, and so I think this is a great question, especially in this marketplace. Like, why is it so important to have an inspection and to use a great inspection company?
That's a simple one. First of all, you have to be comfortable with the person you're using. So look at their online reviews, get some background, and look at the size of the company, see if they've been around for a while. Like, it is very easy to get licensed and start up a company. It's not that hard. It doesn't make you a good inspector. You want experience. Why is it important to have a home inspection? Well, if you don't know anything about cars, would you go to buy a new car or a used car without taking someone that knew what they were talking about or looking at? You're just taking a risk. For homes have problems. Everything has a lifespan to it, and it will break down. We spoke about it earlier. I'm falling apart because I'm 45 this month. Everything has a lifespan and will break. My question to a buyer is that asks me, why is it important, is simple. Would you like to know about the problems earlier or later? Because they're going to show their ugly head at some point. And that could be before closing, after closing, 3, 4, 5 years after you've moved in. And then it's your problem to deal with. If you can get ahead of it and be prepared for it, it's much better. Like, we give you expected lifespans of your heating and air, your water heater, your roof, your bigger ticket components. So you know, hey, I've got to put some money aside because I'm going to need a new roof within the next 5 years. There's nothing wrong with it today,
Yeah.
but I just dropped this much money for my deposit on this house. I want to buy this big flat screen TV to go in my family room, and I don't have any furniture to fill this big house. I'm going to spend all this money, but hang on, I need to hold on to some because I'm going to need it for these items sooner rather than later. And with everything in the world, if you're prepared, it's going to be a better experience. And our job is to give you information so you can make an educated decision on how best to move forward.
No, that's beautiful. Well, so, and because you've said that the challenge is finding great people, if someone wants to get into this industry, what should they do?
Reach out to me, let me know. We do have a good mentor program for fast trackers, as we call them. So we'll bring people on that have never worked in the industry, but I'm not gonna lie about it. It's about a year process of riding with us with literally no income to get experience. It's almost like an apprenticeship to get up to speed before we're going to let you loose on your own if you're new to industry. And else you come from a very technical background in the industry. What we're really looking for is experienced inspectors. We do buy out smaller companies sometimes, but we do look for inspectors that just aren't happy in their situation. They're not growing as much as they want to. They want to be a bigger part of a bigger team. Like, again, we have a great commission split with great benefits. And you know what? If you're interested, reach out to me. Let me know. Even if you just want to know more about BPG, I'll fill you in. And if I can ever be of help from a technical standpoint, I'm here. I got into the industry to help people. I don't need to be making money off every conversation I have. It's not about that for me. It's about trying to make our industry better, trying to raise our standards and make sure that we're helping each other.
I love it. So, what are there any tips for our real producers in working with inspection companies, or um, any advice that you would give?
Yeah, ask questions. Speak to your inspectors. I know at these events, it's an event and it's fun to have. I think we have a small event coming up at some FedEx fields soon.
Yeah, too.
I think that's a small one, yeah. But don't be afraid to come up and ask questions about transactions you have going on that don't involve that inspector. We love to hear stories from other stuff. We love to help. Like, if you come up to me and ask me a question about your personal house, Christy, I'd be happy to try and explain what I think's going on. Obviously, I'm not there, I'm not seeing it, so I can only explain too much. It's so easy for people in this industry to go, oh, the inspector should have seen that. Oh, how did he miss it? Especially with contractors that are trying to sell their service that come in, oh, this all needs ripping out. I can't believe the inspector didn't say that. They weren't there at the time of the inspection. Our inspections are a snapshot of that house at that period of time. And we don't have a crystal ball, trust me. If you look at my online betting recently, I don't have a crystal ball. We try to just explain the condition of the house as it is that day. And if you have a question on your personal home, a question of past home or transaction you're going through, and you want a second opinion, and if you see me, just come talk to me. Just ask. I'm not going to be offended. I love talking about construction and our industry, and my family's sick of hearing about it. So I'd love to talk to someone that wants to hear about it.
Hey, when we're passionate about things, it's not really work, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
um, well, is there anything else you'd like to share with our real producers?
Yeah, guys, these events are fun. I don't know many of you, and we have such a revolving door of real producers coming and going. And I know some of you guys are very, very successful and your time is valuable, but please say hi, okay? If you see this podcast and you see me this Sunday at FedEx Field at this wonderful event, come shake my hand and say hi and go, hey, you know what? I like the podcast. You had some good things to say. Or go, you know what? I think your hair's cut a little bit too tight. You might want to grow that out. Just have a conversation, okay? Because that's where good relationships start. They start with a conversation. If we can get that conversation with you, tell us what you like about the company you're using. Tell us what you don't like about the company you're using. Give us a go and give us feedback. That's what we're here for. We're here to grow. We're not going anywhere. We've got a good market share, but we want to keep growing. We want to make sure we're providing a service at the same time that you guys want. And if you don't talk to us and don't give us that feedback, we can't do the best we can do. Simple as that.
Absolutely. Well, you heard it here at Real Producers. Thank you so much, Ken Humphreys, for being with us. If you haven't checked out his story on BPG, please make sure that you do.